Hello, high levelers, Rayo Daniel here. In this video, what I'm going to show you are two ways that you can set up a Google review system inside of your sub accounts or for your clients. One will be graphical, one will be non-graphical. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please help me up. Subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate your support. I do provide a lot of good content here for you guys so that you can be successful in the Go High Level platform. So let's get started here. So first of all, I want to show you the non-graphical, easier way of handling Google review systems. So Google reviews obviously is one good way that as an agency you can begin selling the Go High Level platform and services, but how do you set that up? What does that look like, whenever you get it automated? So I want to come here and at least show you two possible ways that you could set it up, and then hopefully maybe you could take some of the ideas from this video, morph them into your own ideas, but come up with a system that you can provide or give to a client that you can actually sell the review management services for. So let's go ahead and move forward. The first one what we're going to do is we're going to do simply a workflow. That's all this is one workflow, is the Google Review Management System, and we're going to take a look at that. So we're going to go in here. I've got a folder just labeled Google Reviews. I'm going to come inside here and then go to this Google Review request. Now, this workflow I've built so that you can use it for two purposes. Number one is going to be if you just wanted to simply take a contact and assign that contact to this workflow, then you could request a review that way. Now you can train your client on how to do this either online or even through the mobile app. They go to a particular customer, they click here, they assign the campaign, and then they choose Google Review Request, and then off, you're going to get all this automation that happens in this workflow. So that's one way that you can run this. Another way you can do it is in a database reactivation campaign. Now, those people that have ever done DR campaigns, you understand that you're going to be importing people into your list, into your CRM system. And when those people are imported, what you want to do is be able to run a campaign for these people. So what's an easy way to do that? It's just to simply build a trigger on the workflow based upon a tag. So that's what I've done here. So you import people, you verify the import's all good. And by the way, if you want to watch how to import people and do that effectively, I have another video on my channel that covers that. But once you import people, and let's just say you want to make sure that all the data looks good before you start the database reactivation campaign. So when you do that, if everything looks good, then all you have to do is just simply add a tag to people, and then boom, this workflow can fire as well. So you can kind of use it in twofold. Let's take a look at it real quick here. Just real quick, the trigger is as simple as trigger, tag added. You're going to do, I use review requested. You could use whatever tag you want, but as soon as you apply that tag to a contact, boom, off this workflow fires, and away you go, and you can have a sort of review automation. So the next thing is going to be an SMS message directly to your particular client. Now, this could be an email. You could do an SMS and an email. It's completely up to you. I'm just trying to keep it simple in this particular video. So what I'm going to do, I'm kind of blocking. Give me a second here. Let me move myself over. Move over. So, alrighty. So here we're going to do is click back in here, and we're going to have an SMS message that just says, hello, John. It's, Paul's Plumbing. We would love to get your feedback regarding your experience with us. On a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the bad experience and 5 is a great experience, how would you rate your experience with us? Thank you for your time. That's really it. So it's just a simple SMS message asking for a reply. Now, the next thing we need to do is put in a wait subject here, a wait setting. So we're going to wait, and we're going to wait for not a time. We're not going to wait for like a day or an hour or anything like that. We're going to wait for the reply to come through. So inside of this, instead of doing a time delay, you want to come down here and choose contact reply. Okay, so that replies, and what you want to do is you want to reply to whatever the step is above it. So that the step, if you take a look here, notice that I name this SMS asking for review. And then the wait step is going to say wait for a response to this step asking for a review. Now, you don't want people stuck in this workflow forever. So what you want to do is you want to be able to sit back and have a way for people to exit this if they don't respond. Now, I've chosen 1 day, and that's just using a timeout. If they have a timeout after 1 day, then they didn't respond and so forth, and they exit the workflow just so they don't stay in the workflow forever. And if you see this, you'll start getting a lot of people queued up in here, and it's just, you have to go in and manually delete them. It just becomes a pain. So you should have a timeout to any kind of a wait step. Now, when you wait, ultimately you want to have a decision. After a day, the wait step is going to either, number 1, timeout, or number 2, somebody's going to reply before a day, and then the workflow continues. Either way, you're going to have a response. So one of the things that you want to sit back and deal with here is the condition. So you want to have an if statement, and I'm going to walk you through all of this. So right now we're going to say, blow this up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if the branch is 1, 2, or 3. Sorry about that. Not sure which way this is pointing. But if somebody has a bad review, 1, 2, or 3, maybe you might want to get feedback. You might want to correct the situation. You might want to have proactive steps before you sit back and send somebody to leave you a Google review. Now, I want to pause for just a second here before we move forward here. There are guidelines that Google gives you to sit back and how you can request a review, and I forget what they call it, review monitoring or something like that. But reviews are supposed to be a natural process. If they have a bad review, then they're supposed to leave a bad review online. It's all supposed to be natural. You're not supposed to gauge this. Again, I can't understand exactly what it's called in here, but you're not supposed to stop bad reviews from happening according to Google. But a lot of people do because they want to be able to sit back and make sure they can have a correction to a bad experience immediately before it goes into a review, and then trying to show somebody how to go back and change the Google review and things like that. So they much rather get some feedback first and then send them off to a Google review later. But just keep in mind that there are some guidelines of Google that consider to be a violation if you do this and you kind of get caught in it. So just be careful of that, be mindful. But having now said that, I at least wanted to let you know that. Here you can sit back and say, if this branch, meaning we're going to get a reply back from that text message. And right now, if we take a look here, what we're going to do is we're going to sit back and select the contact reply and then replied message. So the replied message that we get from the person, whatever they're texting back, and we're just going to say is, and we're just going to put in a 1. So if it's a 1 or they replied, again, look at this operator, it's going to be or, not and, or 2 or 3. Either one of those will all flow down that particular branch of the if statement. Likewise, we can have a branch for 4 and 5. Now you can adjust this however you want. By all means, please do. I'm just trying to give you a framework to build a solution. So here you can do a replied message as 4 or 5. So if they do that, then you can have another branch that replies differently to people. So could you have more branches? Of course you can. You can get crazy. I'm just trying to break this down very simplistic for this purpose. Now, here's one of the things I want to make sure you understand. The branch for this 1, 2, or 3, or 4 or 5 can only happen if somebody replies. If they don't reply, if the wait step times out after a day, there will be no reply, meaning the message will be empty. And if the message is empty, the branch that will be chosen is this one here called none. So if it comes down and on an if statement, if it doesn't match either branch, then the net result is it'll always flow through the none, because that's going to be the option of last resort if the answer doesn't meet any other branch. So this none is a great way to follow up with somebody if they have timed out and they didn't respond to your initial message. I just wanted to let you know that and kind of help you understand that. Some people kind of get stuck with that. So what we're going to do is with the branch 1, 2, or 3, we're going to simply click on the SMS request and we're going to blow this up. Thank you, John, for your feedback. We are sorry that you had a bad experience with us, and we would like to make your experience better. Can you please give us some details about your experience so we can either correct it or become better? So right now, again, if you just take a look at this, you see that now we're asking for feedback from there. So from there, sorry about that, blow this up here. So from the feedback, we want to sit back and wait. Okay, and again, you want to have a wait step, but again, the wait step, what we're replying to is this SMS, the request experience details. So we're waiting for that, and then there's going to be a timeout of a day. Now, once we time out, let's just say they do give us a message. What we want to do is just simply put in a task notification. And again, I don't have this completely filled out. I'm just trying to show you how you can build a system here, people. So right now, you could say a task notification. So you create a task inside of your system. You could say bad review. If you take a look here, bad review received from whoever the contact name is. You're going to be putting in the message body, meaning the entire message of the person's message, and then whoever's assigned to the contact, or you can assign to whoever you have in your list, and then make it due in a certain day. So that is one way that you can handle the request. And then, could you sit back and have another SMS message down here that says, thank you very much for your feedback. Would you be willing, to work with one of our people to make your experience complete or whole, or whatever you want to do? You can continue down this line and make as many requests back to the person as you want to try to correct the experience. But bottom line, at this point, we've requested the review. They've responded with a bad review. Now they've given you a reason that they had a bad review, and now you've got a task in your system. At that point, you can build a follow-up. You can kind of do whatever, have the owner or your client call them, because the contact record is going to be inside of the high-level system. So they're going to have a contact phone number or email address, have the owner contact them, try to make it right. And then once they make it right, then they could send a review request directly to that particular person to the actual Google review, which is what we're going to look at now. And you can simply get a good review from there. But now you stopped a bad review from happening, and you've corrected a situation that maybe you as the owner or the client did not know happened as a bad experience with your company. So that's one way that you can handle that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is branch 4 or 5. All we're going to do here is just simply open this up. Thank you, John, for your feedback. We are happy to hear you had a positive experience with us. We would like to ask if you would leave us a review on Google about your experience. It would greatly help us grow our business. You can use the link below to leave a review. Thank you. And then right now, what we're going to do is we're going to send them a trigger link. Now, I'll show you the trigger link. It's not very hard to get set up here, but you want to have a trigger link because then we can actually create another automation that tracks the click of that particular thing and follow up to see who actually clicked on that link and who moved forward. And you could actually report that and do something in a workflow for that. So that right there is basically what it is. You just want to send them a review link and just say, thank you very much for your positive review. Here's a link to Google. And then that link is actually going to be your Google review link inside of your reputation management. And after this, I'll kind of show you where these are, where you would find these links inside of HighLevel. But I want to finish up on the workflow real quick. Let's just say they did not respond. You can simply come in here. Hello, John. It's Paul's Plumbing. We just wanted to follow up with you regarding your experience with us. Would you be willing to provide some feedback regarding your experience? So you're just trying to get them to respond. And here you can build like another if statement down below this one if you wanted to, and do something very similar to this. But all you're trying to do is get them to respond, or you can, if you wanted to, you can actually send them off into another workflow that's going to be could be another follow up for getting a Google review and following up with the person then. But this right here is at least one way, very simple way. I mean, right now to build this thing, it would probably take you 10-15 minutes. And this is something that's repeatable. You can put this in place for a client, and it's a very simple and yet effective way to ask for Google reviews. Hey, real quick, guys, if you're looking to start your own software company, then click on my free course in the link below. I'm going to teach you 8 ways that you can start your own software company very easily with no money out of pocket, no experience, and absolutely no tech skills. Check it out. Click the link below, and let's get back to the video. So now that we've done that, I always have a problem with this resizing. You kind of lose everything here. But let's go ahead and first of all take a look at the trigger link. So if you come into your sites, actually I think it's marketing, trigger links. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to sit back and have a trigger link for, let's just see, where's it at? Google review link. So here, all this is you're going to simply give it a name and you're going to give it a URL. I've just got Google here. If you just take a look at this, because I don't have a link URL here, so this would just be for, I have Google because I had to put something in there, but where would you get that link? Great, let's take a look at that. So if you go to reputation management, you come over here to your settings. This right here is how you would end up getting your custom link. This is how you would get your link set up. Now, I don't have this is a demo account that doesn't have a Google My Business listing, so I can't connect it, but you would have to actually sit back and connect and integrate your Google My Business, and then you'd have a little button here that generates a link, but you would come to this page to get your custom link for your Google My Business, and that would actually connect people directly to your Google My Business listing. So this is where you would find it, where you would get that from. So that is just a very simple example of a workflow that you can create, very simple, but not really graphical. Again, people might want to see something a little bit more graphical, which is why I built a second option for you, and that is to use surveys. So you can actually build a survey because surveys have some form logic in there that allows you to do some kind of cool stuff, very similar to the workflow using that if statement. So let's go over here and look at the sites. We're going to come over here to the builder, and we're going to look at this Google review survey. Now, I guess before I do that, I do want to sit back and show you inside this Google reviews here that you can have a Google review trigger link clicked. So in that last example, if they were to sit back and click on that trigger link that we created, here's just an example. You can simply come here, and this is a very simple example of, let me come here. So here is the trigger. And the thing is, this is going to be trigger link clicked. The trigger link is, and you can simply create a filter where you say trigger link is, you get a list of all the trigger links that you have, and then you simply choose the one, this is the Google review link, the one that we just saw, and you save trigger. So anytime somebody clicks on that link on their phone, on the text message, it will notify, and then this workflow will fire. And then you don't have to notify anybody. Again, this right here is an internal notification, but this right here is this is not an SMS. This is just a pop-up that happens for your team inside the sub account, the internal notification that says user or contact, however you want to do this. And you can put the person's name, John Smith, use the Google review link. And then your message, John, the full name, John Smith, clicked on the Google review link. So it just gives your team a little bit more information to say, did they actually click on the link after they already went through the review request link? Now, if they click on the link to give you a review, there's going to be a high probability they're actually going to leave a review, because if you know, on a mobile phone, when you click on that link, you get that little box with the 5 stars that pop up. You just hit the 5 stars, you kind of type something in for the description and click save. So it's a pretty good chance that they're going to leave you a review if they clicked on the link. So again, you could do whatever you want to inside of the workflow here for that. Scale back up here. So that is one more final thing that I wanted to show you before I move to the survey, to kind of finish up that whole workflow automation and show you how all those pieces get connected. So right now, if we go to sites, come over to surveys in the builder, we've got to have a Google review survey. Now, for the Google review survey, I want to show you a couple different things here that we can do. First of all, we're going to need to create these slides. It's kind of what they're called. This very first one, I called it, I'm going to blow this up a little bit so we can see it. The first one, I just called it main. Oh, sorry about that. Like the main slide, and it would just be, how would you rate us? This right here is just a simple little radio. I'm going to show you how to create this as a custom field. So it just looks a little bit more graphical, looks pretty cool for you to be able to choose it. And you could select that. And then based upon what we're going to show you is based upon what they select here, the survey can jump or move to a particular slide. So again, very much like the if statement, if they chose, a 5 or 4-star rating, you can go right to a slide that says, click here to leave us a Google review. If they select a 3, 2, or 1 here, then they go to a place where they can have a feedback. And then once they have the feedback, they move forward and go to the end of the survey, submit it. And then we'll show you how the workflow that you can build, that you can create, can capture that particular data. So hopefully you kind of understand that. So right now I'm going to slowly expand this back out a little bit. So we have a main slide. How would you rate us? Gathers that information. Then this is going to be our feedback slide. So all this is you're going to come over here to this area, and you're just going to pull in the first name. You're going to pull in the email address, and keep in mind the email address is what's going to tie the user to a contact record inside of HighLevel. Okay. And then the customer feedback. Now the customer feedback here is a custom field. It is a multi-line field inside of it. So you will have to go create a custom field called customer feedback, determine where on the contact record that's going to be stored. And then once that is stored, then that's recorded. And then if you ever want to go back and find that person again, you could just simply look at the customer feedback to determine what they said on the survey. So easy enough done. So right now you could just pull the first name over, you could pull the email address, come over to custom fields. I have a lot in here because this is a demo account, but you can come in here and just do customer feedback, pull it over here, and there you have the form. So right now I'm going to go through the slides, and then I'm going to show you some of the logic afterwards. So just follow me on this. So this slide right here is going to be our one for Google review. So if they chose 4 or 5, then we're going to have them go directly to this slide where, again, leave us a Google review. This right here is just going to be a simple link. And what it is, this right here is if you take a look here, you see where it says script added. This right here is an HTML element right here. I just drug that over just to create a simple hyperlink. Now, if you can be as fancy about this as you want. You can use an image. You can put a Google icon up in here to be a link. You could do all kind of cool stuff. But for the basis of this video, I wanted to make it simple and just show you a system that you can use to do this. So if you click on this edit HTML, notice that it's very easy to sit back and create a link. This is the basic structure for a link. If you don't know how to do it, just Google HTML link or HTML hyperlink, and there'll be other tons of tutorials that shows you how to create this if you wanted to. Now, the biggest thing that you need to do here is this area right here where it says enter GMB review link. This is where you need to go back into the reputation management where I showed you that custom link is created. You need to copy it from there, and you need to paste it here in between these two parentheses. So that's what's going to happen when somebody clicks on the link, and then the text link here is just going to say, leave us a Google review, click here for, leave us a review, whatever you want it to say, it could say that. So that's kind of as simple as it gets. And all they do is click on this, and voila, they're done. Now, when they do this and they click on this, the whole goal of this, and I'm going to show you the logic of this in real time after we get it done to kind of show you how this visually works. But the good thing is that somebody will only submit this survey if they chose 1, 2, or 3. If they chose 4 or 5, they'll never complete the survey, which means they'll never fire the workflow. Okay, so every time the workflow fires, that's a bad review. If it's a good review, then you can sit back and you know that when they click on this link, the link will actually leave the survey and take them out to Google to leave a link. So they'll never finish the survey, if that makes sense. And I'll show you what that looks like visually. Now, because it's a survey, you need to have a final slide, some slide that you can get to the very end, because notice here that all of these slides here just have next. So you want to go click here. It just has previous and next. Here it has previous and next. Notice that only the last slide in your survey has the submit button. The submit button is what's going to happen whenever you sit back and finish the actual survey. Okay, so you just want to have a thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Our staff will look at your feedback as soon as possible, or we're sorry for the bad experience. A staff member will reach out to you shortly to correct the issue. Whatever message you want to give somebody if they're leaving you a bad review. So Now that we have the structure in place, let's go ahead and preview this and see what, oh, let me show you some of the logic first. I'm sorry, I was kind of jumping ahead. So right now, let's click on this particular element here. And by the way, this is a custom field, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And some people might be confused about this. It's actually very easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to build this once we kind of get done here, because I want to give you everything. So here, we're going to sit back and look at this. Now, here's where the logic really comes into play. So right now, this is really good. So if they chose this option right here, which one of the slides do you want to send them to? So we're going to choose Google Review. If they click on the 4, we want to send them to the Google Review. If they click on 3, 2, or 1, we want to send them to the feedback slide. Okay, so that's at least the logic from the very first slide in the survey. So depending upon what they click, sends them to a certain slide in the survey. Perfect. Now, if they would have filled, let's just say we're going to follow this step by step. If they leave us a feedback, so we're going to click on the feedback here. And what we want to do here is we want to sit back and click on these 3 buttons and go to settings. Now, if we do this, what this shows you is after, if they click on the next button, what is the next step that you want to send them to in the survey? Now, because the Google review is the next step, we don't want to send them to the Google review. Okay, that's the whole point. We want to get their feedback, but what we want to do is we want to jump over the Google review and we want to have them land on the thank you page. Okay, so when we do that, we have to configure the logic of that slide, and you do that with the settings. So you can say, when you click next, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to, which one of these slides do you want to jump to? And we're just going to choose the thank you slide. So that's the logic of it. Now, moving on here on the Google review, if we take a look at this settings, notice it's just going to take you, once you click on this, it's going to take you to the thank you page. But again, they're never going to get to the thank you page because when they click on this little hyperlink, it will leave the survey and take them out to the Google review. That's the benefit of that. So they're never really going to complete the survey if that's the question, if that's the point. Now, I will kind of say in this example here, there is no trigger link in here to sit back and track if they actually click on this. That's the downside of this one. So right now I'm not like an HTML coder on this one, but if there's a way to do that, I don't know, but you might want to figure it out if you hire a coder. But right now, if there's a way of integrating a trigger link into the HTML, again, I don't know. So, but for right now, I just want to at least give you something so you can use it as a system to move forward to and sell this to a particular client for reputation management. So now that we've done that here, I'm just going to make sure I save this because I've been making some changes. So, and then finally, the last form is the feedback form. So there's nothing else to view there. So now what we want to do is click on preview. So this is what the thing looks like. Now, if you wanted to, well, I'm going to get to that of how you actually can deploy this. Once this is done, we'll go over that. But how would you rate us? So here you're going to send a link out. And I'll show you how to do that here after we get done with this. How do you get a link to this particular survey and how do you send that link out to other people? So here, if you want to click on this, you could say, let's just try 5 stars. Like, boom, 5 stars. If it's 5, the next thing you want to do is leave us a Google review. If they click on the link to leave us a Google review, boom. And again, I'm not sure why that happened exactly, why I didn't follow the link, but so sorry about that, but it should take you out and show you the Google review link. Likewise, if they chose 3, 2, or 1, let's just say they chose 3, it takes them to please help us improve form or whatever you want to call it. You can simply just type in this, your email, enter, just type in whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then once you click on next, again, remember the logic, when we click on next, what it's supposed to do is take you over the Google review slide and take you to the final slide where it says, thank you for your feedback. Our staff will look at your feedback as soon as possible. And then they do is they click submit. And then that thing is done. And then you can completely, thank you for taking the time to complete our survey. That whole thing can be configured inside of your survey as well. So if you come over here, you take a look at this for your options. Thank you for taking the time to complete the survey. This right here is where you would find that. And again, real quick, if you're on this, you would click on this little styles and options button. From here, you would go to options, and then you would change the text here. That's what would change the ending result once they submit the survey. So now that we've done that, that is the basis of how you can send out a graphical representation. And keep in mind, this right here, I would say 30 minutes. Let's just even call it an hour. So spend 1 hour, one time to create the survey and use it over and over with all of your future clients. So a couple things that I kind of told you, because I want to make sure I come full circle on everything, is number one, I'm going to show you how to create this custom field. But 2, I want to sit back and show you the review or the workflow associated with this. So if you come here to automation and we come to Google reviews, there's going to be a Google review. I have Google survey submitted. So what you can do is there is a trigger here, and the trigger is survey submitted. So if somebody were to submit the survey at the very end, so you would create a filter, and all it is just survey is, and you would choose whatever survey that you're looking to have done. So once you do that, that is your trigger. And once you have the trigger for that particular workflow, then all you do is configure whatever you want to have done here. So you can have, again, have a task that notifies your team, hey, we've had a bad review submitted through our survey. Take a look at it. You could text your team, email your team, do whatever you want to do. But ultimately, because the survey was submitted, you can actually capture that as a trigger and then have a whole other workflow once somebody leaves you a bad review that responds to it or does something. So that is what I wanted to show you. So let's go back here to Sites, Survey Builder. Come here to your survey. Now, if you want to here, you can simply click on Integrate. Now, integrate meaning if you wanted to embed this, you can actually embed this in one of your web page forms. I don't really recommend it. You can come here and get a link. This is a link to this survey. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. So if you do have a link, then guess what you can do inside of HighLevel to notify you when somebody clicks on it. That's correct. You can create a trigger link because we already talked about that. So here on the trigger link, you can simply click add. You can do Google review survey. Simply come here, paste that whole link, click save. And now what you can do is you can now have a trigger link that now you can send out an SMS message to somebody the same way we did before. You can send a trigger link out. When they click on it, it takes them into the survey. If you want to send out an email, you can send out an email and then use that trigger link in the email to send out. So that's how you would connect your survey and start gathering all of this data. So now that I've done that, let's switch over and show you how to do the custom field. So right now inside of custom fields, I'm going to try to find this one here. So how would you rate us? I'm going to click on this and go to edit. Now, this is what it looks like behind the scenes, but what we're going to do is find out how do you do this. This little thing that I've used right here, I like this. This is actually called star emoji. So if you wanted to, just come here to Google, just type in star emoji, and like the very first link I got showed it up. I'm going to come over here and highlight the star and click copy. Then what I'm going to do is come back over here and I'm going to add a field. I'm going to choose this radio select right here. Okay, because that's what the radio buttons is a radio select, which means you can only select one of them. I don't want to use checkboxes because then they could select multiple. That's not going to work. So select a radio, click next. Here I'm going to give it a field name, and I could just, for the sake of a better term, call it rate us. Here I want to sit back and choose, let's just say I want to put this under additional info, and now I can start creating the options here. So I've already copied the emoji. I would just simply paste it. Now this is 5 stars, so I'm going to paste it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there it is. I just simply copied it from the web page. Come here and just type in 5 star, just in case people just don't know, and click here to add another option. Now I still got the star in my clipboard, so I'm going to come here and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Call this 4 star. You guys are seeing how easy this is, right? You're like, wow, I didn't realize it was that easy. But we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Come over here and call it 3 star. Another option. It's just so quick and easy to make this once somebody shows you how to do it. Make sure I get this right. So here we go. So now we've just rebuilt that entire custom field with 5 stars, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. And you can do it any way you want to. You can not have the text after it. It's completely up to you. But now I'm going to click save. And now we can utilize that inside of a survey or anywhere else that we want to use it at. So that's how easy it is to create that custom field for those people that may not be very familiar with that. And then that's in turn how you can build your field. Now I do want to show you the other thing here is I'm looking at the customer feedback here. So customer feedback, just to kind of let you know here, I'm going to, wonder why it won't let me edit this. That's very frustrating. I was just going to show you here, if you wanted to, for the custom field, all that is this multi-line. That's all I was going to show you, multi-line. And you can call it, our review feedback. Here you can choose another group, again, call it additional info. And really that's it. That's all there is for creating the feedback section. So now you have everything that you need to be able to create the survey. You have everything that you need to be able to create workflows in case you want to do the simplified one versus the survey. But how do you put all this together is completely up to you. But again, these are 2 very simple, quick, and easy ways that you can build Google review systems, automated systems inside of HighLevel that you can in turn go ahead and sell out to your clients. You can start selling review management and selling these 2 systems, either one of them or both. Give them an option and let them choose what automation they want to send out. So I hope this helps you out. If it did, please click on the like button here, share this video, leave me some comments and feedback. If you have any questions about how to build this, let me know here. But these again are some very easy ways for you to be able to sit back and start selling review management through the HighLevel platform. I wish you the best. Thank you so much and have a great day.